example, we're going to use the substitution method to solve a system of linear equations. So we're going to get started by solving one of these lines for any variable. Really, I want the variable that's already by itself. So you're looking to see, is any variable by itself already? And in that first line, the y is by itself. So that's the one I'm going to solve for. I'm going to do that by adding 4x, and that gives me y equals 4x minus 1. Now I'm all set to substitute one equation into the other. So take the two equations over. The one that I solved for y, that's the one that I want to substitute into the second equation. And since I solved for y, I want to put that in the y spot in the second equation. So we're going to drop the 4x minus 1 in for the y in the second equation. This is what it looks like. You're going to move the negative 3x and the minus 2 down and just insert or substitute the 4x minus 1. Now that we have this equation with just x's in it, we can solve for x, and that's going to give us one of our coordinates. The first thing we're going to do is look at the left-hand side and distribute. You do have to distribute a negative 2. So we're going to do negative 3x minus 8x and then plus 2 equals 24. The left-hand side now has some like terms that we need to put together. A negative 3 and a negative 8 give you negative 11x plus 2 equals 24. Now we would like to move the constant from the left-hand side, subtract it to move it across the equal sign, and then let's add those like terms. You get negative 11x equals 22. 24 minus 2 is 22. And then finally divide by the negative 11. And that gives you x equals negative 2. So we now have one of our coordinates. The next thing we're going to do is go back and plug that coordinate that we just found into anywhere we see an x. I'm going to take where I solved for y and put the negative 2 in for the x. So substitute it in, multiply and get negative 8 minus 1, and then solve to get negative 9. The fifth and final thing I have to do is just write the final solution. I have an x coordinate and I have a y coordinate. I'm just going to write them together in the final solution. Negative 2, negative 9. That is where these two lines cross.